as it is in the studio this morning on Xylophone 102.1. Friday deal, and everything is happening on your radio. This is the best dial in the morning, 102.1. What else can we do than to give you more information in show business and more? JMJ, come through. Let's say a word or two. I believe earlier there was a discussion. If you were following, you can also give me your thought on it about the artist of the decade. If you were following, you can give me your thoughts on that.
I wasn't following.
Okay, you were not. Let your mic come up. Let your mic come up.
I wasn't following.
Okay, but have you heard of the artist of the decade category?
Yes, I have.
Okay, Arnold Asamoah Bedu feels that Sarkodie is the only winner there. What is your opinion?
Oh, my opinion, as in what his opinion he's entitled to.
No. What do you also think?
Oh, okay. As in what is me also my opinion.
Yes.
All right then.
JJ. But let me add that when I went to London, I met Kaki.
I surely knew you will.
Yeah. She's really looking beautiful still. I actually booked an interview with her, but where she lived was very, very far from mine. So.
And then also I had a problem with the people you were interviewing. I felt like for our platform to be in London, I was hoping to see people like Eugene, the Ghanaian top artists, those gospel guys who.
No, it is about availability. I mean, you didn't know what they were also. Maybe they were even not in town. Maybe they were not available. No, what I mean is that was our first attempt at. No, it was not option. That was our first attempt at the project we started.
Oh, okay.
So I'll be going again, and hopefully, as we go, we will be doing more.
Okay.
So Kaki, I missed Kaki's interview, but she told me more behind the scenes though.
Oh, okay. That's good.
We will come back to it some other time.
You and her.
Maybe, and yourself, and your good self.
I didn't tell you anything, so whoever told you, you talk to that person. Well, back to the issue of the artist of the decade. I would, first of all, I don't understand the criteria being definition of the decade, but if I...
Should I read it for you?
Yes, that would be great. That would be great.
Okay, good. Let me make another reference to
as in VGMA's definition of the artist of the decade.
Yes. It says the artist of the decade is the artist are judged by the academy and the board as the artist with the highest audience appeal and popularity over the last decade. The artist must have released a hit single or an album within the last 10 years.
Okay. Okay, so per definition of what you have read, then I have a problem with some names inside. The qualification don't match up.
Names like
when I was coming, I overheard you trying to correct somebody that since it's 10 years, if somebody's even 2 years, he's qualified. That was your statement I heard when I entered, and I felt I didn't agree on that point. If I'm 10 years, I'm 10 years. If you are 8 years, you are 8 years. If Ghana's law says 18 is a qualified voting age, you probably are 17 and a half. You still ain't qualified to vote. That's, to me, my understanding. So first of all, if we are to cast our mind 10 years back the drain and look at songs, hits by the definition, hit songs, album, consistency. For me, there are only two names that stands out for me there, which would be Sak and then Samini. You see, I think some of us have short memories, and then some of us too, because of our affiliations, it's becoming very difficult for us to be a bit non-partisan with our conclusions. And it's fair, it's just the beauty of the game anyway. But if we are to cast our mind back 10 years ago, I remember like 8 years ago, Kaki and Shatta and Samini were in one category. Kaki won over Shatta. Shatta flared up. And that began the whole movement for Shatta that day. That's not even up to 10 years. Yeah, I know when Kaki won that award. And you see, I don't know whether out of the 20 years of the VGMA awards, this is the first time we have done the Artist of the Decade.
No, this is the second.
This is the second time.
Yeah, the first one was won by Kojo Entry.
Kojo Entry.
Yeah.
Good. All right. Then what it means is that I hope that category is not up for voting, right? Or it is?
No, it is for board and the academy.
Academy. Okay. Because clearly speaking, would have different feelings should we opt that for voting. The simplest way for all of us to find that is to the records are all there. Today you can go to YouTube and type 2015 the biggest hit songs in Ghana. It will pop up there. Go the next year. Keep going until the 10th year. If you're losing track, come back to VGMA. 9 years ago, who was the artist of the year? 8 years ago, who won that? And they just keep doing that. If you want to be fair and not be partisan in your conclusion. But then, of course, if you're affiliated to CAMS and you feel, no, I mean, we get into that game, then hence I'm glad that it's not up for voting. I mean, because it would have been funny. But for me, like I said, two names stands out for the test of time within that 10 years. It's Sak and Samini for me. Those two names do it for me.
Okay, so any of them who go home with
exactly.
a category, you'll be fine.
Exactly.
Apart from the two, whoever wins.
Apart from the two, it will be surprising. It will be surprising for me to see that maybe for the past 10 years I was sleeping and I didn't know who was consistent in terms of hit and album. Maybe within that 10 years I wasn't living in this town. But if I was, and by virtue of what I do happens to have a relation with the same names, I'll be a bit surprised.
Okay, thank you so much, James. Now let's continue like that. Again, in the front page of the graphic showbiz, Elom, EL is in the news.
Okay.
And this is a story written by our own man, Kofidia, where the headline reads, "No GH artist makes money from just music." No GH artist makes money from just music. And I'm happy that JMJ here has enough experience handling artists, and he will also be the best person to explain this statement from EL, whether really there is a point there or he is only seeing this in his own set of goggles. It says no GH artist makes money from just music, EL. Now the story. Although things are improving in the music industry and some artists such as Sarkodie, Stonebwoy and Shatawale are believed to be making millions of cedis with their craft, rapper Elom Adabla, popularly known as EL, says it is not possible for any Ghanaian artist to make a fortune solely from music. Music is just a means to an end. You cannot leave a legacy through music. It is actually, to the next page, it is actually the business you use your music for. How much can you sell an album or a song in Ghana? Any artist who says he made a fortune only through music is a liar, he told Showbiz recently. According to the Coco hitmaker, not even the many shows Ghanaian artists brag of can bring them such huge money. Forget about the shows because I have mounted every show in Ghana and they don't pay that much. The money we get from shows is peanuts. It only lasts for a month or two. No artist in Ghana can tell me he built a house or made a big fortune from an album or a particular song. I challenge any musician to come and contest me. It is, however, how you direct your music into other businesses, he said. Now, EL also revealed that he was involved in other businesses, hence the reason he has been on the low for a while. Now, asked if it was difficult for a famous musician to bounce back after a long break, EL said it was easy. It was easy if you have money. Now, we'll end it here because our focus has been read already. Thanks, Kofidia, for giving us this story in the graphic showbiz, which says no GH artist makes money from music alone. Now, JMJ, with your experience, is he speaking the truth, or his experience is different from yours?
What he's saying emphatically makes sense. Two ways. I didn't say the truth. I said it makes sense.
What is the difference?
This is it. I know politicians that own businesses that has nothing to do with their paycheck home as politicians.
As politicians.
Yes, politicians, good. I know footballers who owns estates, mansions, who are into other businesses like Asamoah is into. I know a banker who even pays more than his bank pays her as a teller in his private business that he owns. So what I said makes sense is that no wise person banks his hope on only one paycheck home at the end of the month. It will be your to grow with. You don't need to survive on only one source of income. You need to try and create multiple streams of daily cash flow. So if you're an artist and then music happens to put you onto a platform where you get to meet other businessmen, businesswomen, people with ideas, entrepreneurs, and you have some fair amount of cash and you chunk on some great idea from a young entrepreneur that you feel like this makes sense. Wait a minute, if I put my money into this, it will grow. And plus my influence as an artist, I will be able to get a lot of people to buy into this idea. That's a brilliant one. Very, very, in fact, I would even add my voice to the fact that people become politicians not only because of the salary that it comes with, because one, he gets to sign that contract for that road to be constructed. It means he's getting in touch with the contractor. It means a lot if you know what business means. You understand me? So clearly, I would say, whatever profession you find yourself inside, in fact, most importantly as a musician, because of the following, the love, the attention you get from people that brands go to pay for them to get that same attention to do business with, and it comes with you with your platform. You should be smart enough to be able to turn that into other business avenues. So I agree with him. Now, to the extent where maybe he says just shows are not enough.
He says the money being paid for shows are just peanuts.
Okay. To that extent, I'll say this also. From my angle, no one-time salary or payment is enough to sustain anybody. I've seen somebody who was a president, and after 8 years, things aren't going the way it's supposed to be any longer. So even within 4 years of his tenure, if that salary self was not enough and things are going wayward, he has to go another angle. How much more you a one-time show or a two-time show? So hence I brought in this issue of making sense and then the truth. So making sense that there is no recently I saw something, Coachella's show. What's the name? Beyonce charging something close to, is it 8 or 4 million or something, or 12 million or something. No, they were comparing Beyonce to somebody who, in fact, the money was in the figures was in 12 millions and 8 millions. And these people
performing at the Coachella.
Yes, and then because some of them had bargained to actually have the right of viewership to their time when they are performing and all that stuff. What I'm trying to say at the end of the day is that even that, her current next show, she will be bargaining for more than what she just got. And she's still investing. She's still putting money into other streams of income. So I think EL is just trying to advise. But maybe the way and manner he put it makes it look like it doesn't fetch anything to be a musician in this town. What I can tell you for a fact is that I've seen companies pay money to get brands being the faces of people. And then I've seen an artist let's say Patapar now in the faces of people. To every day I log on my Facebook or any of my social media pages, his face is everywhere. If we are to put a cost to that marketing that had come as a result of him being an artist, that would be crazy money. That would be crazy money. So to some extent you might not appreciate it. This is the thing about musicians. When we are starting, we don't really care about the money. All we want is to just be all out there.
Get the bangers.
Get the bangers and then be relevant, and then we are even ready to play free shows. After a year or two, now we don't want that. We want the money. After that, the next thing, it's just a human fact, a human thing. We are never satisfied with anything. But if anybody tells you the industry is worth zero, it's a fallacy. Depending on what you are after. At some stage you were not after the money. You just wanted to break through and show the world what you are capable of doing. And that was your goal, that was your priority. Then at a point it changed because you wanted to compete with SAG, you wanted to drive the range, you wanted to build the mansion like Wale has done or another artist has done. Then your focus increased. That's human. When I probably started as a producer, my passion was just to be able to see artists, their dream and my dream being married together and people appreciating it. Then it grew to the stage where I realized that I need to change my gears. I need to update my softwares. I need to buy, I had bills to take care of. So then the dream started growing. It was expanding. Then I'll add this, then I'll take this out, then I'll add this. But the foundation was still to create music. You get it? So if any artist tell you or anybody says it's not, it's our industry is worth zero, it's zero, I don't and I won't agree with that at all.
You were able to use the Patapar example, which I think you were right on, because when he came here, he told us he's built his own house.
Exactly. I was sitting next to him that day. Yeah.
He said he's built his own house in Swedro. He's doing this, he's doing that, all from music.
All from music.
But then again, can we mention more names like Patapar? Can we mention more names of people who are also earning enough? People who can build houses from just music, as EL wants us to believe.
As a matter of fact, we have had the opportunity to ask Patapar, and he told us that that's what he has done, right? I'm sure there are other people that we have not asked yet, or there are other people who, a typical example is me. I'm so private to the extent that what I do with myself, I won't, no matter what gun you put on me, I won't share with you.
Okay.
You understand? Some people too, I know, when they have $1 million, they still look like when they had zero. And when they have zero, they still look like when they had $1 million. So it's fair, but I get where you're coming from. Your point is that, do we have enough of people making fortunes
as he put it?
As he put it. Then again, like I told you, somebody's fortune, somebody's idea to come on radio was to buy a car. Another's idea to host your show, build a house. Somebody's own was just to become popular and then enjoy the fact that he's everywhere. So then, a goal is defined by an individual, not all of us on his behalf. You understand? So, for me, like I want to say, see, I know an accountant or a bank teller whose take home is probably 1,800 Ghana cedis.
I know.
He or she dresses and he's actually been given a car by the company that she's servicing the loan. And all looks very beautiful because her name is, oh, she's a banker. He's a banker. He drives this Camry or whatever car. And it's assumed that that girl or guy counts money all the time in his office. So money really isn't the problem. I can tell you for a fact that this weekend, Patapar show wouldn't be anything less than 15,000 to 20,000 Ghana cedis. If I do the mathematics, Patapar can pay that bank teller for the next 8 months. That's just out of his 30-minute performance in the show,
or
probably
sometimes less,
or even sometimes less. But however less it is, it's more than that. That well decorated bank teller. Do you get my point?
No, I get you.
So at a point where maybe Patapa now might not be getting booked every weekend, the bank teller might be looking all rosier than Patapa. But then question is, within that frame of time when almost every Friday, Saturday, Sunday you were booked, sometimes even within a day you rush to play this and rush to play this, even if it's 15 or even 10,000 set within it. And most artists get engaged when weekends. Like in my time, I know Friday, Saturday, Sunday, always something was popping. You understand? Even if it's not even a huge event like Chatter House or anything, some big man in daughter in wedding, some
lunch,
party, some lunch, some corporate lunch, some cool appearance, which your cheapest appearance fee, even in the club, is more than probably the assistant person in charge of the bank, which I can tell you for a fact. You understand? So if you look at it, it will depend on from which angle are you looking at this picture to say it doesn't pay, or are they able to build houses? Question is, maybe somebody lives in his inherited family house. Yes, he had inherited a family house about 8 bedrooms, and he's staying there. At that moment, his priority is not to build. Maybe Patapa, from where he's coming from, he and the mother, he knows where they're coming from. Most important thing was to put up that they are 2 or 3 bedrooms, so he have his privacy. All I'm trying to say is that it will be difficult for you to judge from one person's perspective of whether it's good or it's not good. But on bottom line, if you are being effective, you'll be making money. Question is, what did you use your money for? So that when you are no longer being booked, you don't seem to be waiting on Nam1 to send you some money or some top guy there, or begging or being in the news all the time and people have to send you money. You get my point?
I get your point.
Clearly.
Well.
So big man, me and you, we've been in this industry for a long time. We've seen artists who rose to the level that me and you even getting to talk to them on phone stuff was wahala. Within 2 years down the drain, they get to chase us to even hear, for us to listen to their problem. And now we give them the time we are available for them. You have seen that. I've seen that. I've seen artists walk into my studio. I've seen artists I don't want to mention is that he sat at ADB Bank. You see the runabout there at Dansuma. Wait for me and Obrafo. Move his Morano. When we couldn't even identify him because he was just sitting on the stairs there. Pick him up. 10 did a U-turn again back into my studio. We finished recording. Obrafo ordered for food. We all ate. We even gave somebody transport back home. 2 years down the drain, the person is driving. What was it? I saw one of these cars. I've forgotten. Very big, huge car, and the person drove into my studio, and I was like, "Whoa, levels don't change." I'm proud. And he sat there with me for like an hour and shared stories with me. Let me give you a typical example. You know Stoneboy and I go way back. Stoneboy used to come to Dansuma, sit down, me, Saminoa, Arnold, the guys in my studio there. One of our favorite food was Mauli. Those who follow me on Facebook, they will tell you. Saminoa will just order some nice banku for us. We'll be in the studio, we'll eat together. Stone will have to go all the way back to Ashama. Sometimes spend the weekend with us. Sometimes spend the weekend with Samini in Dansoma. Sometimes with me, sometimes with his friends. Within 3-4 years, Stoneboy came to park a Cayenne in front of the studio. And he came to record his version of one of the rhythms I had done. And then from there he was going to SA to shoot. He had booked a director in SA waiting to shoot his videos for him. Just within some short.
And he did all that through music.
He did all that through music. Stone is not a farmer. He's not a teacher. He's not a banker. And I'm giving you instances where we lived together. We were in that studio for years. And one story I can actually vividly, I remember Stone was there before even Kaki. And you saw something, all of a sudden Kaki even took the lead faster before Stone found his path. And today, can you tell me the fleet of cars Stone has, the house he lives in, how much money he commands? Just recently, a mobile company just used him for a face.
Yeah.
You understand? So, can you really tell me this industry don't pay? Let me give you another example. Some years ago, I remember we were recording Kasebo during the Kasebo album. Then, I don't remember who exactly, but somebody showed me a video of Sako there. One guy called Ni of King of Accra, and then Guru. They were in the video, and then they were rapping like back to back. And I was like, whoa. Then I hadn't seen Sak or Guru before. And I loved it. I was very impressed. So when we were putting up the Kasebo album, I remember we were almost done, but I was challenging myself like, Charlie, my senior Mahama, the kind of production it does for Obrafo, me, my 10, I need to do something. So then we hadn't even cooked Kasebo, we hadn't cooked him and Sak song yet. So one dawn I put together that beat and I was just thinking, what can Obrafo put on this album? On this particular beat. So I called him, I'm like, yo, I've put together some beats. I need you to come now. He said, oh, God, let me come. I said, no. The thing they do me like if I can lessen the beat. He drove at dawn. You know, Obrafo is a Saturday guy. They go to church. So for me to move him not to go to church and come, it was difficult. He got there and said, wow, I love this beat. Then the first question he asked, what do you want me to say on this beat? Then I said, you know what? Let's talk about while you were away, what happened, because then he had been off the scene for a long time. Then I was like, okay, then we need somebody who will be reporting to me and then I'll be countering. Then I remember the video they showed me of Sak and Guru and the way those guys were crazily rapping. But then I had a rapper called Ghetto KB in my camp. But Ghetto's style and Obrafo style were totally two different things. So even though an opportunity had come for me to push my artist to shine, I knew that it won't work for him. So I said, Obrafo, I'd seen a video, I want you to watch it. Then quickly I played Sako there and Guru's and King Ni of, there's a guy called Ni of Accra, King something good to him. And I was like, wow. Then I said, you know what, let's get these two guys. So I didn't know how I got the number. I called somebody and then they linked me up their numbers. Then I called Guru. We brought in Guru. That began Guru's career on Kasebo. Then we put Sako there on in Hip Life. And then Sako there also, that was when I did Bole for Sako there. All happened within a week. I remember vividly how Sako there walked into the studio. It was Dr. Duncan's, he had some matrices that time. I think they were from Winneba, and then returning, they decided to pass through my end. They came to record and did all of that. Bruh, Sako there today, after that day, can you tell me that music don't pay? Guru, that day, I don't even remember the means of transport Guru managed to get to my studio for that Kasebo. But can I look at Guru then and Guru now and tell myself that music don't pay? I can give you countless of names.
Well,
personally.
EL said something in a different way.
Yes.
He said music directly might not
that
give
is
you the
why
money.
Good. So you've even helped me now. That's why I said.
But then what you use the music to do.
That's why I said it makes sense and then there's some truth to it. So what is the actual fact is that whether you're a musician or whatever you are, in this our society now, you can't survive only on one stream of income.
And is it like that? Is it like that everywhere?
Everywhere. This young man sitting next to me, he's not surviving only on interviews. Last time he was selling condoms.
Oh no,
those were free. The free one some. He bought some. Arnold. Arnold Vafunaji.
Which condoms?
Arnold.
GMG. I could sell anything.
Condoms.
Including contraband.
Contraband.
So literally, Yes, I mean, everybody, even pastors, after preaching, they write books. They sell their sermons. I mean, what I'm saying is that everybody now can survive only on one income stream. You need to do a whole lot. So it doesn't mean, okay, let's move up. Even Jay-Z, does he survive only on his music?
He's added other businesses.
Beyonce.
So it is music related.
But other businesses. He owns chains of restaurants and nightclubs. They are nightclubs or something, I've forgotten. Chains of footwears and plenty. Perfumes and so many. Beyonce, the same, Lady Gaga, name all of them. Everybody. It's a platform that it gives you.
Okay.
And once that platform comes, you have to be creative. You have to run, speed, fly with that opportunity that comes with it. But if you sit down and feel like, oh, I can always create a hit song, or the opportunity will come again, trust me, what EL is saying will come and meet you.
Thank you so much, JMJ from Extra Large Music, and he's giving us a clear overview of what EL is talking about. I also want to understand this from another angle. Maybe EL wants to advise whoever is into the music business that
not to survive only on music.
Don't sleep and wait for a hit song.
Yes.
If you sleep and you are waiting for a hit song,
then
you are going to be very, very hungry. You'll be begging for food and water. But then he's saying, when you get a hit, when you get maybe one, use those means to survive. That is what he means. And now, your opinion on this? No GH artist makes money from just music. EL, a Kofidia story in the graphic showbiz.
JMJ has said everything. Very, very. He's even added, real examples. He said everything, all the angles. But you see, some artists would want to survive only on music. But how long is that survival going to last? As a matter of fact, we have people who are just living on music alone. That's all they're doing.
Even in Ghana?
In Ghana, yes, they are. But the level of their survival is what you want to question. But they've decided that some have stopped doing something else just to concentrate on music. Something that brings money, maybe I know a baba, we are seeing me concentrating fully on music, and they are doing it. As to whether it's easy, only they can tell. But if you really want to have a fortune, like JMJ said, no top billionaire or no top guy has only one stream of income. I mean, let's bring it down to our media landscape. The media owners, most of them have this as the mouthpiece. They have the radio and TV as their mouthpiece, and then they sell everything else, including Pampers.
That's
everything else, making money from all angles. So the music could be your radio or TV, and then you would use it to do every other business. Now, if you look at EL, his popularity, what would he want to venture into that he wouldn't get people to advise him on? Maybe if somebody like K-Boy wants that same advice, he might not get it because he won't even know the people. But if EL knocks on any door asking for consultancy or advice on anything, you'll be given free. So that alone has put you ahead of the other guy who nobody knows. Yes. If he wants to go for a loan and he has the things they need, he will be considered first. If they need collateral, they need blah blah blah, and he's able to produce all those documents with the name EL alone, he could be considered first. Because when you mention EL, everybody knows who he is and how they can smoke him out. So it gives you leverage over others. Now, if you have all these leverage, why do you keep it in your pocket and say, I want to do just one thing? Unless you don't have it. If you don't have it, then you can make that excuse that but you can knock on doors. You can get certain things easy. In fact, you can even get publicity for free. You can use your own song to promote your products. I think SAC has been doing it. So if you can do all these things to make extra income, why would you even want to base on just the song, which isn't guaranteed when it comes to the hit and the industry itself?
Sometimes even Samini uses his image to sell the mother's pito. He's always talking about it. He's always holding his calabash saying, there's pito at the stands. Whenever we're having Samini first, we bring the stands and then we sell. So
so you could use it to do anything. Some are into garage, they sell cars. Some are into electricals. You know, Caesar.
Yeah.
You know, he's making fortunes out of other businesses.
But now Caesar has stopped music. He
But
has quit.
yeah, he's quit. But he started doing
started
that
from
even
that.
when he was still hot.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that popularity alone, people want to come to his shop because
And
they
buy
want to
from
see
him.
Caesar and buy from him. A time came that most of them went into pubs, you know,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
setting up
yeah.
a pub. The ladies were doing, you know, saloons and all. These are all avenues that can rake in some money for you. So I agree with EL. Don't concentrate on only music. Yes, music can give you the money, but you can get more money. Use that popularity, use the power. Look at someone like Stoneboy, Sak, Shatawale, Samini. These huge names, the gospel, Ohima Mensi and Co. Saying that upon all the name, I just want to stay and make money from just one channel. Ohima, they have a studio, huge one, multi-purpose, and they rent it. That is also music related.
Joe Metal
but that's
has one of the biggest studios that they rent for rehearsals.
Yeah.
another. You
I've
see,
heard it.
so be smart about it. Get the popularity, get the name, get people to believe the brand. Use it for whatever thing you want to do. Some are going into foreign businesses, maybe making people travel and all. Charlie, all be money with research. Don't just do the music because you are not guaranteed. Yes, you'll be making 200,000 CDs for shows now, 50,000, 100,000, and like JMJ said, in fact, some of their pay, sax pay for a show can be somebody's 5 years salary.
Yeah.
Just for a night, just for a few hours.
5 years, the doors of Tesuka.
So, somebody is
Yeah.
making 200,000 Ghana cedis for a show or 120,000. Somebody has worked for 10 years. On who 50,000 that?
50 crados.
People have worked for 10 years. People
A
are
lot of
taking-
people are in radio, on radio. There are a lot of people on media. There's some said don't even have salary. Let's be real.
see?
We know it.
So yeah, so the guys are making money, but again, it's determined by your taste. You know, whether the industry can sustain you or not is determined by your taste. Sack will make 120,000 or 200,000, but what is his taste? What are the kind of things he does? What car does he drive? What house does he live in? Utility bills, blah 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 blah. So he could come out and say Sikane Nsumi, and you would be surprised. But that's the truth. Yes. All these top billionaires sometimes come and say they are bankrupt. But if you look at the money they have and saying they are bankrupt, it is Ghana's GDP. You know, so
Problem is maintenance of their.
yes. So that is your taste determines whether or not music can sustain you. But we advise that even if you're making money from music, you have what it takes to do other businesses. So I mean, every now and then we are thinking about doing stuff.
Even today,
Every
we are
now
going
and
to chase some.
we are thinking about doing stuff. So let's challenge sika use every
So,
avenue.
we are taking this as a cautionary statement
Yes.
from EL,
Yes.
Perfect
and
one.
not something to make musicians feel less.
Right.
or
No.
less.
They are
Okay.
making money. He made money. Sack is making money. Even Dope Nation, who came not too long ago, I'm sure they started making money. Kwame Eugene and Kidi and Co. They're making money.
The examples are there many.
A lot. Miss V made a lot of money. I'm sure. Lynx is making money. But then you can make more money.
Sami,
Yes, sir.
you remember meeting Kaki in my studio?
Yes.
You know she was a nurse. Her year group, that his colleagues that were nurses who are doing service or who have gotten employed now, some don't even drive a car. Before your girl left, she was driving a Benz.
I know.
She's doing her masters in UK. You think all her colleagues graduated within that year from Legon could have easily walked? He opens doors for us.
Countless
Question is,
opportunities.
what do you use those doors
To
do?
or to gain.
Last week we were talking to your artist, Wale.
Yeah.
He's done now to the extent that he's done something called Tuesday Market. And through that, somebody is also benefiting, not even him.
Yeah.
A fund is now even benefiting from his Tuesday Market. No longer just the artist benefit, though, but his extreme level now is benefiting his fans. So how bad can music be again?
Look at America.
Let's be honest, how bad can music be again?
Look at
Okay.
Charlie, guys are making money. Let's make some more money.
Okay, thank you so much. Arnold Mason Levanyo, Vibes in 5, Link Up Reloaded, tomorrow 3 p.m. Join him and his squad. Let them give you real excitement on radio on a weekend. And again, to JMJ from Extra Large Music. Let me read some 1 or 2 messages before we move on to the next thing on the platform. This one says, good morning, Uncle Sammy. I understand EL in a certain angle. The reality is, if you are destined to survive solely on music, that one is a must. But that one, to ask yourself, how many are they? Man, you need to attach some business to your career to survive when you grow old. Otherwise, you're gonna live rich and die poor. Decipher inside cantonments. Sent this one. Now Janelle also said, Uncle Sam, this issue is very funny. I know a pastor who owns a very big pub in Accra. That is KB production, eh? Okay. Pastor Sam from Konomunsa. And also Kojo, let me get a full name. My brother Kojo Osei is from Gospel Billboard. He is also saying that, good morning, Brasami. Francis Osei of Groove House Studio has a smoothies business and has another studio home for rentals. I'll bring you some smoothies one day. Okay, Mate. Alright, so it goes on like that. Let's see how best we can also survive in the music business, and I'm sure that is what EL is saying and no other thing. So if you have that artist, if you know that boy who is coming up as an artist, advise him that, bro, as you are going into the business, you should know that when God blessings follow you and one hit comes, be smart, meander your way through and make money. Don't be sitting at home always waiting for the next hit. The next hit might not come, but then just that hit will open so many doors and opportunities for you. That is a lesson from EL in the graphic showbiz. Thanks Kofi Dua for giving us that story. But then one thing is also clear.